welcome back to the Village Hall from Page to Stage with me, Mr. Matt Ogden, and this man here, Mr. Richard Sykes. And today, Rich, we are joined by a fabulous guest called Robin, and we're going to get to him shortly. But where are we, first of all?
We are at Milnsbridge Village Hall. It's called the Hall on the Hill, and
The Hall on the Hill.
I think it's unique. I think
It's
it's got a lot of history, and we're very excited for Robin to tell you about that in a little while. It's got a variety of spaces around it. We're in one at the moment. We're in this beautiful. I mean, you could kind of mistake it for a beer garden, but it's not what it is.
That is a very good point, actually. It'd be absolutely wonderful to have a beer just here, sat in this glorious sunshine.
It'd be great.
I mean, with the train going past every 5 seconds.
I didn't realise there were this many trains.
There's quite a lot, it turns out, when they're not cancelled.
This is true.
Yeah, no replacement buses going along there, though. So today we're going to have a chat with Robin, and we're going to learn a little bit more about the Village Hall.
Yeah.
But before we do that,
Yeah.
what do I need to know about the current state of play with the musical? Has anything changed since our last podcast?
Yes, I mean, we've moved on. Again, we're moving through the story of the Village Hall.
Indeed.
And it's one of the things I want to discuss with you today is a song that we're rehearsing this week.
Yep.
Which
At time of filming.
It's called Wherever I Hear Music.
Wherever I Hear Music.
There are 3 songs in one here. So we have Wherever There Are Bourbons, Wherever I Hear Church Bells, and Wherever I Hear Music. And so the one I want to look at today is Wherever I Hear Music, because it's the same tune as the other 2.
So you've kept that kind of little, I don't know the musical term for
The
it.
motif.
The motif,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
yeah.
word I was looking for. You've kept the motif running a few times throughout the rest of the
I
the
have,
play.
and
Right.
as we always have, is the rule of 3.
Yep.
And so you have a setup, you have an establisher, and then you have the payoff.
Yep.
And the payoff is this huge music number. It's done by virtually the whole cast, and it's an extraordinary number in that it shouldn't exist. It shouldn't be part of this anyway.
You say that about a lot of your music.
Yeah, a lot of it seems a bit superfluous, a little bit unnecessary, but this one definitely has a point, because the theme of the show is this incredible lady called Molly, represented by light and music, because she's no longer with us, she's died. And so her spirit is if you believe in such things, is represented by light and music, and she certainly has a presence within the musical because of that. And so a song sung by Helen to Molly is a song called Wherever I Hear Music, You'll Be There. What it didn't have in it as its origin was a hockey team, and so I decided that...
No, of course, you needed a hockey team. To really hammer home the emotional kind of impact.
Yeah, the emotional heft. What I actually wanted it to do was to get from one thing to another within the storyline.
Okay.
And so it became this number that would end a certain section. And that section was the literature appreciation group and the creative writing group.
Naturally.
Yeah, so I thought this is how we do that. We bridge from one section to another. The only time the time shifts in this show is when there's a musical number. That's when time is elastic.
Because the rest of it, everything else is pretty much just as is. It's live. It's
Yeah.
happening in one afternoon on a Saturday.
Exactly, but in order to get from 1 hour to another hour, you kind of need something that can make for 45 minutes. Yeah, and so that's what happens with this musical number. So during it, we have a nice little eulogy from Helen to Molly. She's setting up the story and setting up the plot of who Molly was and why she's present in the hall still.
Yeah.
And then there's also a sort of expostulation about the Village Hall itself.
There it is. There's his word of the day.
The word of
for
the
this
day.
one.
Oh well,
expostulation.
I've been expostulating for years. So there's an expostulation about the Village Hall and what it means to everyone on the committee. So there's a line. It's in you, Geoffrey, in the eulogy and the snoring in the pews. So there's a hint that wherever there are sounds and light and music, then the villagers will all come together as one.
Okay.
And then Joan and Jenny realise that they've now got to do the cups of teas to the half time of the hockey game that's going on just across the way.
Oh,
and so the hockey team have to come in and get their refreshment, which is provided by Jenny and Joan because they're the only ones that can work the tea urn.
Of course. Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
So a hockey team comes hurtling St Trinian style
Okay.
into the village hall. And so then the second verse has become about this hockey team and how they've grown up in the village hall and how much it means to them. And then the whole thing comes this riot of music and expression about the village hall. So this song is very much now the absolute heart of the show.
And that's exactly what this place is.
Oh, yeah.
That we're at today, isn't
Yeah.
it? And as we said, it says it's the hall on the hill.
Yeah.
But if you look at the notice board at Milnsbridge Village Hall, it says the heart of the community.
That's
and
right.
it says where here's where all the things that are happening are going on.
So this multifunctional aspect comes into the song in the same way that it does here. I just looking at this spectacular building, I mean, there are so many facets to it, and I think Robin will talk us through the orchard and the planting, and so there's a lot of outside activity as well as the stuff that goes on inside, which I mean, having looked at the notice board, everything is sort of running hourly. So they are
there's
hugely
a full
busy.
calendar of things happening, but there's also space for the hall to be hired for other uses.
That's right. They've done it very cannily, which is something that our village hall hasn't got a grasp of yet.
No, not at all.
Sadly, not in
But
Chile.
Ken will come and sort that out, won't he?
Apparently, he will. Yes.
I'm sure he will.
Don't worry, Ken's here. All is fine. So, in terms of this number, it's been edited. It's been put together in different ways. Maria has had her red pen all over it
Maria's red pen.
Well, what I had to do was come up with an awful lot of material for this one. I needed sounds and what they would trigger in people, and also when I first wrote it, it didn't have the context of being something to get from this to a hockey team to the next scene. And so I wrote verses that surrounded the context. Before that, I had verses just about random noises that I heard, and I thought, what makes a noise and what could be inspiring? And some of it got incredibly rude. About tramps farting in parks and things like that.
A Richard Sykes song
I
getting
know.
incredibly rude.
Well, I think
Is
it's
Maria's red pen coming out?
I think
can't
it's
imagine that.
honestly my default, Matt. I think
Yeah.
whenever I can't think of anything, I immediately go to the rude.
It was a smut.
Yeah, get some smut in there. Guaranteed a laugh.
Yeah, smut and must.
One of them was the majestic sploosh of the anal douche that
there's
catches
a
you unaware.
throwback to a previous episode
No,
of the podcast.
this is this song.
Oh,
That's right.
Oh God, we're there.
Yeah. Throughout the song, there's again the sound of the church, of the birds, everything you'd associate with that village. And then when the hockey team comes in, it's the clacking of the sticks and
running in of
the
them.
screaming and the violence, and but it all adds to this sort of tapestry of sound. And that's what I've tried to create in the song. Do you want to hear it?
I do.
Okay,
I do indeed.
Well, let's have a listen then.
It's in you, Jeffrey, in a eulogy, and the snoring in the pews. When Mel tells the choir, hold your hymnals higher, like you've nothing left to lose. When Ken's letting loose like a honking goose, and no one seems to care. Wherever I hear music, you'll be there. In the tribal scream of a hockey team, when we grab the winning goal, when we clack our sticks, get the violent fix, then it's time to rock and roll. In the flail of skins and the crack of shins, it's wild women's warfare. Wherever I hear music, you'll be there. Wherever I hear music, I hear music. Wherever I hear music, you'll be there. You'll be there.
So that was Wherever I Hear Music from the Village Hall, and where does that take us to then? Because as you said, the songs are used as a device to progress time and take us through into the next kind of activities that are happening in the hall. Aren't
Well, what's just happened is that we've had a literature appreciation or creative writing group.
they? Oh, of course.
During which Ken has presented his wonderful poem Voids. Now, this literature appreciation group has had to be combined with Knit and Natter.
Yes.
So it means that Jenny and Joan now have to be part of the same group because effectively they're talking at the same time.
Okay.
So they're hoiked over by Geoffrey from the Knit and Natter group, which is called Stitch and Bitch.
Geoffrey our vicar, of course.
Geoffrey our vicar. So that they all come together, and there is a lovely lady called Freya, who is played in our musical by Jess.
And we alluded to her last week, didn't we?
We did, but we didn't explain why.
Yes.
It's important that we know about Jess, because Freya is a character who sits there in the creative writing piece, and she sort of mulls things over, and she's very perceptive, but she doesn't say anything because really she's quite shy. In fact, the only reason she's there is because they do bourbons, which she doesn't get at home. And she loves bourbon biscuits. So when it comes to things that inspire her around the village and the inspirational notes of the village hall, the only thing that we can find that inspires her is bourbons.
Right. Okay.
So she sings a song about bourbons. Wherever I've got bourbons, I'll be there. And it gets erotically charged.
Oh,
Let's
yes.
put it like that.
Yes.
Yeah. I have to say that this is actually comes from my brother. And the way my brother eats bourbons, he has done since he was 3. He got it off my mother. Was you get the you know the sandwich bit of the bourbon, and there's
cream.
a little gap around the outside
There is a
between.
gap,
Yeah.
yeah.
So he gets his lower teeth in there, and peels the top off of the bourbon biscuit with his lower jaw.
Yeah.
And then would lick the cream out of the middle, dunk the 2 sides in the in the tea, and then down it. Oh, it's foul. This is part of my family.
I mean, that's actually quite tame compared to some of the things you come out with, to be honest.
I didn't say I was, but I know I'm a saint when it comes to biscuits.
Okay.
Just give me a Garibaldi and I'm anybody's. Yeah. Something about the chewy inside. Now, bourbons, it turns out, are what makes Freya's character come alive.
Right.
And so you get this raunchy number, and it says, when you feel the pack and you peel it back, and you feel that cocoa draw, and you get the top and you peel it off using just your lower jaw, and you lick that cream like the wettest dream, and you leave the bottom bare. Wherever I've got bourbons, I'll be there. It's a simple
quite
song.
light-hearted, really.
Very light-hearted, but erotically charged. And I don't know how
Yes.
Jess is going to deliver that.
Yeah.
So, from there, we find out what motivates Geoffrey. And of course, it starts in exactly the same way, which
Erotically charged.
well implies that Geoffrey's vision is also going to be erotically charged, which should terrify the hell out of the audience. However, what Geoffrey is actually going to say is what he loves is the feel of the church and the sound of the empty church, and that's what he loves.
Okay.
So that's Geoffrey's inspiration, and then it turns to everybody else's inspiration. So that's how the song works out. But then from there, of course, you've got to stack the chairs away and get everyone out of there. And how do you do it without having a blackout and everyone? So the number evolved, and we start going into the number, and then that moves through into the pantomime.
Of course.
Because now we're getting into a set piece of the second act, which is the Cheeley Village Players rehearsing the pantomime. As you can imagine, folks, I mean, I've been with Woodhouse Operatic Society for an awfully long time, when they were Woodhouse Operatic Society.
Now Woodhouse.
Now they're
Musical
Woodhouse
Theatre
Musical
Company.
Theatre Company.
Of course.
And so it's been over 30 years with Woodhouse. And I've seen some things. However, rehearsing for ships and being a part of pantomimes, you accrue so many stories, and all of them pretty much referenced.
Erotically charged.
They are. You'd be amazed how unerotically charged
Oh,
pantomime
really?
can
Okay.
be. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you're in the pantomime horse, in which case all bets
It's
are
quite
off.
erotically charged, yes.
Considering where you put your head.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Absolutely. So it's basically the idea is that we run straight through into the panto, and that is what we'll be talking about on the next episode of the Village Hall from Page to Stage.
Spoiler alert, spoiler
yes,
alert,
indeed.
spoiler alert. So, before we get into that then,
Yep.
shall we have a nice little chat with Robin and learn more about Milnsbridge Village Hall?
I think we should. Let's do
Yes,
that.
excellent. over to Robin.
This is Robin, and we are at Milnsbridge Village Hall. It's a very, very special place, and it's got a nice connection to the Lawrence Batley Theatre, which I'm hoping that Robin will tell us a little bit about.
I hope so too. What's the connection?
Right, well, the connection really is through a man called Brian Pearson, who was director of Kirklees Leisure Services in the early 70s. So he was involved in acquiring the Village Hall, the building for the community group, as well as being one of the big drivers in the establishment of the Lawrence Batley.
Now, Lawrence Batley came along a lot later, though. That was the late 90s. But it's nice to know his career spans the whole thing.
Yes, yeah. And Brian is still alive and well and
good man.
Working hard on community projects in his home area at Thornhill.
It's nice to know there's a connection, especially with a musical like this, which is it pokes at the heart of sort of village life, really.
Yes.
And the strip of land that you're on here is on a precipice. It's actually called the Hall on the Hill, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
That's brilliant.
We've sort of just recently dubbed it that. When we were sort of wanting a little bit of a tag and something to latch onto, and it does produce its challenges being on the hill. Of course.
So what kind of challenges do you face then?
Well, the challenges are around keeping the grounds in good order, because they are challenging for grass cutting and for gardening and so forth.
Sure.
But thanks to a great group of volunteers who sort of manage pots with flowers in, actual gardens. We have a community garden, and we now have an orchard as well.
Yes, you walked me through the orchard. It's full of apple trees, and there's a mulberry bush.
And with pears. I think there's something like 20 different varieties of trees there, as well as soft fruits and so on.
But Robin, it feels so vibrant. It feels as if there's action happening all the time here.
Yeah.
And also the fundraising is incredible. Is this part of Brian's influence here that you've been able to pitch for lots of grants and keep money that way?
We normally we sort of haven't had any big grants or any grants from external sources outside the area. We've tended to go for local grants.
That's intriguing. I mean, the listeners will be able to hear that there's a train line.
Literally just there.
It's so close to us. And you were able to get some money from the recent Trans-Pennine Improvement Fund,
yes,
weren't you?
there was sort of a very difficult to manage piece of garden down at the bottom of the steps on the approach to the hall.
Yeah.
And so we managed to get some money from Trans-Pennine Upgrade to have that levelled and paved, and then a volunteer from Trans-Pennine, as well as our own volunteers, built some wonderful planters which are now down there and flourishing, and there's a bench, and it's sort of given that little corner a huge lift.
Of course. It's this sort of piecemeal approach that I really like to this. You know, the fact you haven't gone for a big booming grant. You've gone for little grants from different places. And that's really inspiring.
I mean, we're fortunate in that our local ward councillors are very good.
Good.
And they've helped us on a number of projects with money from there.
So you mentioned just before we started filming, you mentioned about this space that we're currently in.
Yes,
and what happened with that? How did
that was
come about?
kind of rolling a number of grants together.
Excellent.
And so what we did, we had some COVID grant money. We went to Huddersfield Common Good Trust, a local charity. We were helped as well by the Buy and Buy shop in Golka.
Wow.
They can give small grants as well. And help from the local councillors again, and some of our own money that we'd raised. And so we pulled all that, which enabled us to block pave this area out here, buy recycled
tables and
chairs.
Yes, you said this was from bottles, didn't you? Or
made from plastic bottles.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Fantastic.
So it really works well.
There's a lot going on, isn't there?
Yes,
I think as we came in, I saw that the board says where it's all and it's block caps all going on.
Yes,
so there's plenty of things happening in the calendar.
It is. It's very busy. They aren't all necessarily community things that we run
Run
and
yourselves,
sponsor.
yeah.
But
But people can hire the hall
they
and
can
use
hire
it for
the hall,
themselves.
and
yeah.
so there's a seated Zumba, a chair yoga. There's all kinds of things like
His
like
face.
that, which actually, there's indoor curling, new age.
Oh,
I saw that on the
fantastic.
website, spelt with a K.
Yes,
and I was
that's
like,
it.
that's
Absolutely. And those are all actual lettings to other organisations or
Yes.
charities,
Yeah.
which pay us a rent
Yeah.
and we support, and it helps to achieve our charitable objectives, which
So
were
you facilitate the space, and you actually
Absolutely.
let them just
Yeah.
run
Yeah.
the schedule, and then
Yeah.
it's just added to your shared calendar, so people
Absolutely,
outside,
yes.
they come to the hall, they can see it.
And there are two dancing schools that hire on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And that all generates income to help to keep the doors open and
Perfect.
support the more community-based things.
So, Robin, the history of this place is extraordinary. You said to us that it had been originally a building in Halifax during the war.
Yes, it was. We've been unable to find out what it was actually used for
Right.
when it was in Halifax.
Yeah.
But it was dismantled and brought here during the war on army lorries and reassembled. It's an old lady who passed away in the 90s that has filled in some of the history for us. She was around when it happened.
Excellent.
And so it was brought here, and we believe, we understand that it was used as sort of a rehabilitation unit for people from the forces.
So veterans came.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's also been used as Salvation Army
Really?
citadel. It was used for that, and it became.
Was this through the 50s and 60s then?
It would be, yes. And
Before it became a village hall in the 70s?
Yes.
Right.
It was acquired in 74 or 75
Yeah.
to be worked on. It needed work doing, needed a new floor, heating system, rewiring and so on, and that was all done then. And then it was handed over, not really handed over, but leased to the community group, of which I was a member at that time.
Oh, you've been
So
here a
that
long
was
time.
your pre-involvement.
Yeah.
And so it became a village hall then, opened in 1977, after the work had been done. The community group took it on what was originally a 25-year lease, and I actually signed the original lease.
Oh, you're on there. Wow.
And it was a new process that was being established, was asset transfer, and we were in that system, in the process for 7 years, which is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
But in fairness to the council, they were having to make it up as they went along,
Sure.
because it was new to them.
Yeah.
And so hopefully now the systems are refined, and it won't take as long. They talk
Hopefully.
about less than a year.
Fingers crossed.
So we did actually take it over 2 or 3 years ago, and I signed that lease. But it's now on a 125-year lease.
Oh, you've got it.
So you won't have to sign the next one.
It's
There's still chance. There's still chance.
highly unlikely, but I've got my pen ready.
Quite right. It's nice that there's an affection from the past for it.
Yes,
from people
yeah.
who've set it up.
Yes,
I mean,
yeah.
clearly, Robin, you've been the mainstay of this and keep it going and going and going.
Well, I've been around. And its strength is its volunteers.
Sure.
Yeah.
And we've got, we've never enough volunteers, and we're sort of an age, most of us, that would really like to get young people in, but I think all organisations struggle to get younger people involved.
I noticed on your What's On board you also have little kind of little stars that have the social handles for the village hall, which isn't
Yes,
something
yeah,
we've come across
yeah.
at every village hall we've been to.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you guys are embracing, modern social media and
we're trying.
website platforms and things like that to
We're-
get the news out.
We have a good website. I volunteer who lives quite a long way away from
Sure.
here, and so we're grateful for that. And we have a lady who looks after the Facebook Facebook and other social media, and so she's active on there. Because we found that putting posters in shops didn't work. It ceased to work.
Sadly not. Yeah.
Especially when the shops start to shut down, and that's the thing, isn't it? Is you want to reach a wider audience and the newer audience.
And a lot of shops don't have windows down.
Yes, that's true.
You know, they
Very
have
true.
the vinyls on them
Yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah.
So that's what we, you
Oh,
learn as you go along, don't you?
You do. I mean, we do that with the podcast. We haven't
Yeah.
learned yet, but we'll try. Robin, it's been absolutely brilliant talking to you.
Thank
you
you.
so
Thank
much
you.
for
Yeah,
allowing
thank
us
you
to
very
come and
much.
film as well. It's great.
Okay.
And look, the weather held
pleasure.
out as well.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. That's great.
Excellent. Right.
Okay.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Okay.
It's
You're
been
very
fantastic.
welcome. Good to have you.
Thanks.
And we're really looking forward to the musical.
Oh, so are we. Bring it on.
Fantastic. Speaking of which,
Yes.
Richard, where can people get their tickets? Before we chat more about the musical,
Well,
where they
you
get them?
can, surprisingly enough, in front of Robin at the moment, there is a QR code that's coming your way. All you need to do is scan that. I'll take you direct to the Lawrence Batley website. If you don't want to bother with the QR code, just go to www.thelbt.org and you can find it all there.
Excellent. And we'll see you there.
Right. Okay. You will.
Cheers, Robin.
So that was Robin from Milnsbridge Village Hall, and we learned quite a lot about the history, and I didn't realise the connection to the LBT through
Yeah.
Brian Pearson. That was really fascinating. To learn
Extraordinary
about
to
that.
think how things come round, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And the other thing that I kind of mentioned, we didn't go into it, but I just want to kind of to touch on this, is that if you notice at the very front of the village hall, there was that little kind of decorative bookcase that I saw. So obviously from myself living in Longwood for a few years, I went into Milnsbridge to do my shopping quite a lot, and right on the corner next to the Christadelphian Hall, there used to be the library there. But as Robin told us at the start when we first got here, that place closed down for the past 30 years or so. So what they've done is effectively this place has its own library, which we've had a little look at.
Yeah.
And it's no membership required. People just come in and they can take books.
It's
or
in
they
the
can-
Lewis room.
Yes, it is indeed. And as you see, that outside there's that kind of plaque that's almost reminiscent. It's the same creative, I think.
Yeah.
It's the same artwork. So it's just nice to see that things can close in a specific town or
Yeah.
village, but then the community hall can kind of absorb that responsibility.
That's right.
And
And-
as we learned from Robin, Kirklees Council kind of started to slowly give a lot of that responsibility to the community.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic that as a charity, they're running all of these things,
Amazing.
keeping them going.
So versatile. It's brilliant. Anyway, it's been a pleasure to be here, hasn't it?
It has. It's been fantastic. And just as we've obviously been filming, the sun's come out.
Gorgeous.
And it's a wonderful day.
Aye.
So yeah. So that was another fantastic episode of the Village Hall from Page to Stage. And if you would like to see more of myself and Rich and the glorious village halls that we are frequenting every week, then what you can do is you can subscribe to Richard's YouTube channel. That's Richard Sykes on YouTube.
It is.
If you just search the Village Hall from Page to Stage, thank you, Bird, for that. Then you will find the podcast
Can't believe
there.
you're being heckled by a sparrow.
I am, yeah. Well, it's very nice to be heckled for once. So if you would like to watch them, you can go onto the YouTube. But if you'd like to listen, where can they find the podcast, Rich?
Well, folks, you can find it on anywhere where you get your podcasts. It goes to Spotify as well. You can get it on YouTube if you like. Or if you're struggling, just go to richsykes.com and it'll direct you to the right place.
Excellent. And whilst you're there, what you could also learn is more about Richard himself. You can learn about the past musicals he's done, including By George, which was the Chip Shop musical.
It was.
And then also you can learn about more upcoming projects that he's going to be working on, can't you?
Yes, they're developing rapidly. It's great.
It's going to be exciting. So, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much, Mr. Richard Sykes.
Pleasure, Matt, as
Thank
always.
you to Robin and the Milnsbridge Village Hall guys. And, well, I think it's ta-ta for now, isn't it? Until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
In the clunky sway of a wild sachet of a masculine drag queen, in the pleasing squid of a popping zit on an acne-ridden teen, the majestic sploosh of a perfume